Side of our community has been very supportive of us as well. We've had every management team in the city. So we have the entire city management team supporting our cause as well. And they understand that it's not about the treatment, it's just about the location, putting it right in the heart of our community where we already have a lot of disparities. And so this wouldn't be a good place to be. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we want to now pivot. We also still have our eyes and thoughts on the our project, what the New Hartville Hamden Strong started out to be, and our mission, our vision is to not have them locate on 794 Dixwell Avenue. So that has not changed. But the good thing about it is now we want to have conversation about what is healthy in our community. What do we want in our community? It seems like everybody else has a thought of what they want for us, and most of it is not about anything that's healthy for our community. You know, we're one of the community that has a lot of disparities in our community, and if they look at statistics, they can see that the low income in our community is the highest, about 70%. So why is that? So why don't we have the healthy health in our community? It's also at its highest rate. So why don't we have something preventive in our community? So that's what we're going to be talking about most of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Katurah?
Well, I try to look at the glass half full. That's how I try to live my life. And I think that this whole situation with the App Foundation basically bum rushing the community and not informing the community that out of our crisis has come an opportunity.
Mhm.
An opportunity for us to begin to look at one, what is happening to our community, and then when as Jeanette had mentioned, we got some data from from Data Haven, which looked at the city of New Haven, and it looked at the statistics for New Hartville. We know that poverty, we know that stress, from health disparities to discrimination to lack of resources, creates a distraction. It is a major distraction on your quality of life. You're in a survival mode. You're dealing with trauma every day. So you really, they know this about certain neighborhoods. And there was a recent article last year that a graduate student at Yale did regarding looking at where methadone maintenance clinics like the one that they would like to put in the App Foundation are placed throughout the country. She looked primarily at New York. She looked on the West Coast and parts in between. And Newhallville was primed for that. Back in the day when the App Foundation plopped itself in the Hill was struggling. Congress Avenue was definitely not a place to walk down, and that's where they went. So when you're distracted, you don't have time to even really look around. You allow your politics to not serve you. We have had, aldermen and state reps, and that to not take the time to look at what is your neighborhood, who are you representing, and what do you need to do to change our community. We vote you in to do certain things, and then when we look at our statistics, for not just currently but historically, it's not good. And how are you serving us? And so the community at this point, we're saying to the community, find your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Speak your truth about what your reality is on a daily basis. What do you need to do to improve the quality of your life? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been a resident of Newhallville by choice for 40 years. Have been in the street, Babz, have been out there to not only just for New Haven, for Newhallville, but for New Haven. Mm-hmm. And Jeanette, the same thing. It has to change. It has to change. We're in the year 2022. Yes. And when you look at numerically, what does that mean? When the spiritual meaning of that is that all things will come to light. All things that are in the dark will come to light. This is the year of light, the year of truth. We started that out in January. Mm-hmm. when it came to light that this entity was planning to come into our community. And it was assumed that it was a done deal. Mm-hmm. And at this point, we feel like people are trying to slow walk us to death. Right. Because first of all, in the Black community, you put something as controversial as that in the dead of winter, they did not expect us to raise up. Because us, we like the warm weather. So it was like in January, it was freezing outside, and we had a significant amount of people from the community come out. So
what's the next steps? Like, Jeanette, what are you hearing from the App Foundation now that they know they are not welcome? And let me say this for the record. They have not been good stewards to Congress Avenue in the Hill. They are not good stewards, and they continually push back on saying they have no control about who and what and all the entities that come and use their services. And I beg to differ. Everybody in this city can control their outer spaces. And if you don't believe that, look how Yale controls their outer spaces. Look how schools control outer spaces. So I find that a little insulting when they say they cannot police, quote unquote, their outside spaces, but they're just not good tenants. They're not good stewards of the property, and they're not good stewards of the neighborhood. So what are they saying to you all in these moments about, are they coming? Are they not coming? Are they making other arrangements? What are you hearing from them?
So we're hearing, and through letter form as well, is that they're working with the city. They heard us. It was very clear that they heard from the community, and the community is like, this is not a good appropriate spot for you. So right now they have everything on hold. They're not going through zoning or any of those particular pieces right now. They are working with the city to have a recommendations to move in a different location. And so we just have to stay at the table because we understand how this works. Is that, okay, you know what? Let's see if we can wait them out. Well, you're not going to wait us out. So we want to put this on notice, and today and tomorrow as well, is that you're not waiting us out. This will continue to be at the table until this is over with. So we want to make sure that they understand that this is not an entity that is going to be healthy for our community. And we need to stand up. And also, I want to make sure that our leaders, we have to make sure our leaders is continuously standing with us, and the platform that we vote them in to do, we want them to make sure that they heard us and they're hearing us, that this is not an entity. So they should be using their leadership and what their stands are, and making sure that it doesn't come in that area as well. We do have support from our state reps. We have support from our alder, and we want to make sure that they are continuing to having conversation with the city, with the state level, the DPH, and all of the other services up there. We have sent letters letting them know our concern. Our concern has not changed from January till now. So if they decide that they want to continue to move forward, then we're going to be ready to move forward as well. And we want to hear more from our leaders. We know that this is an election year. We want to hear from the governor. I did speak with him at an event, and I asked him, could I quote him on it? He said, yes, he will be coming to Newhallville, and we're going to hold him accountable to that. We vote for him. Our community deserve more. And everyone has to look at, why are we having these conversations? We shouldn't just be having these conversations. They should be coming to us, saying to us, I understand. Here's the data. Okay, they always want data. Well, we have it. Here it is right in front of us, that our community, low income, 70% in Newhallville, 70%. That's a high rate. And then I'm not even going to go to the disparity of the health disparity. We have nothing in our community that allows us to be preventive. And so we want those particular things in our community, and we deserve to have them. The legacy for our children, the legacy for this community deserve that. If you go back, you understand before, it used to be a business industrial. It used to be a working industrial area here. We had a lot of thriving things, and it went away. And so we want to make sure that no one is not looking at Newhallville. You know, we have a lot of money coming into the city, you know, American Rescue money and a lot of those particular things. Well, someone should be having a conversation on why isn't that money being geared towards Newhallville to help Newhallville have better quality of life. You know, our expectancy to die in Newhallville is a high. As I'm looking at the percentage, it's devastating to look at. And so enough. Our voice is out here, and we're going to continue to talk about this. I know it's uncomfortable for people to hear this. I know it's uncomfortable for our leaders to hear this, but this is uncomfortable for me to see children. You know, I've been working with children pretty much 30, 40, almost all my life. I love working with youth. And I look at them, and what does their life look like? It's up to us to make sure that we don't stay silent on these particular things.
So what do you hear from neighbors? Because you've had a series of meetings, community meetings. I believe they're well attended from what I understand. What are you hearing from them, and what are they saying?
Well, I think the neighbors are supportive of what is going on. First of all, you know, the first thing that we had to do, we had to spend a great deal of time educating our community about what this whole thing meant and how it could impact their lives. And so that was the first part. And once people understood how it could impact them and their family for generations, then they've been supportive and they've been behind us. We recognize that, you know, we're like I say, we're dealing with a community that is challenged. Mm-hmm. I would say challenged, because if you give people an opportunity to better their lives, they will take advantage of it. But, you know, we haven't, like Jeanette said, there's money, tons of money coming into this community, into the city. And you would think that you would focus on those neighborhoods first that need the most help. It's like, you know, you got and when you're triaging anything, you deal with the person that is going to die first. You don't deal with the person that has a hangnail when you got somebody that needs a tourniquet. We have a tourniquet.
I see
We
that
need a
nurse's
tourniquet.
training coming out.
Yes.
I see that nurse training coming out.
Exactly. So, I mean, when you think about our life expectancy in Newhallville is 10 years less than the average person in the state of Connecticut.
Exactly.
Wow.
10 years.
Yes.
That means that, they're saying that our life expectancy is 70. The life expectancy of someone that lives generally in the state of Connecticut is 80 years old. And do you know what that does to a family if someone like myself isn't around? That's devastating.
Yes.
That's devastating.
Yes, yes. So in having these conversations with neighbors and community folks, and it is the New Haven, Newhallville, Hamden folks, because Newhallville extends to Hamden, to the borders of Hamden.
Right.
What do you want them to do when you invite them? What do you want them to? What do you expect to hear? What would you be willing to listen to?
Period. We are looking for our elected officials, our community partners, i.e. healthcare, real estate individuals, people that want to do community development. All of those partners have to come together and say to us, and we want to say to them, this is our vision. Mm-hmm. And you all have all of these talents and skills, and we'll support you coming into our neighborhood so you can help us to actualize what we think would be a healthy lifestyle. So if you're a realtor, do you realize that Newhallville used to be the premier home ownership spot for Black people? And according to this statistic, the home ownership rate in Newhallville now is 26%.
Wow.
And the rest of it is rental.
Right. It's rental.
It's not home ownership. How did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
They're building mega apartments that border part of Newhallville and part of Dixwell. Mm-hmm. And they're going to give a percentage of low income, or what do they call subsidized living space. Mm-hmm. It's like, seriously? And then the rest of it is going to be what? It's not going to be affordable for us, for the majority of those people that are 70% of the poverty rate.
Right.
So we have to change this mentality. And that's what we're out to do. Hamden came out strong in January. Their entire legislative body, the mayor on down, was like, no, we agree. This should not come to this community. On the New Haven side, it's been some work, and we're still working. Mm-hmm. We're still working. We're not, as Jeanette said, we are not going anywhere. And I told somebody before, if I got to lay my body down on the sidewalk in front of 794 Dixwell Avenue, that's where you will find Katurah.
Well, you won't be alone, because people feel very strongly about not having the app. I mean, I agree. I wrote my letter, and mm-hmm. I've voiced my opinion, and I just have not been able to come physically, but I have other tools to use, and I know how to use them. But I think this is a terrible idea, mm-hmm. and a very bad mistake for this community. I think it'll do too many bad things. I think if they put that place there, and I'm with you, Jeanette, treatment is necessary.
It is.
It is necessary. We're not against treatment, no. But they're not good stewards. And no, exactly. I think those folks will attract other folks who peddle drugs to that clientele, mm-hmm. to those folks. And and then there's children on that street. I mean, it just would be so hard to manage. And then it would spill into the interior of Newhallville in ways that, we already have, like you said, both of you said, we have enough disparities. Now we would add another element to that disparity. I think crime would go up. I think assaults would go. I mean, I think so many things happen when you put this? And no one is talking about putting this in Westville or East Rock, or you never hear things going in those neighborhoods ever. And you can't tell me they don't have spaces that are not available. They have spaces. Everything is not leased up over there in those neighborhoods. So and I don't want my friends in East Rock to get all crazy, and I don't want my friends in Westville to get all crazy. I'm making the point that these our communities like this, the most hardest of the hardest, cannot endure these kinds of
I just want
assaults.
your friends in those areas to understand that's why we are crazy right now.
Right.
I'll admit we're not crazy.
Exactly. And I think they are our friends, because we have went and have conversations with every district, and they understand clearly as well. Even down to a couple of the management team said, no, it should be not in any community. And I think that is true. So we try our best not to say, oh, send it over there or send it over there. No.
And I'm not suggesting that either. I'm just saying when they make these decisions,
correct,
they don't consider, other communities. They think, oh, well, this just seems natural to put it in one of the poorest neighborhoods because whatever. But I was like, no, that's not a good idea either. So,
but you know what, Babz, the placement of 794 Dixon Avenue, that right on the sidewalk next to that building, it says, "Welcome to New Haven." So I want you to transplant what's going on in Congress Avenue right there on that corner. Is that the first thing you want to see coming into our neighborhood with these bad stewards? No, we do not.
And exactly. And we have 3 schools in that district. That area over there is elderly. I mean, people have been in their homes for a long period of time, and they're devastated about wanting it to be in their area. And shame on who sold them the building, because they also that was a school right there, and so they didn't think that through as well. They was thinking more of the funds than what would impact our community. And so I think that we have to continue to make sure that we are not that we know that they know that this game has changed.
Yes.
And this has changed because we do allow things to happen in our community. And so that's why I'm urging everyone to come and help New Hallville. You know your expertise, you know what New Hallville can thrive for, you know our vision, our passion of what we want, for a better life, as well as anyone else do for our communities. And so people are hearing us, but then they sit on the sideline and they say, you guys are doing a good job, but no, I need you in the game. If you're on the sideline, you don't understand how the game is being played. And so we want you in the game with us so that we can have a win as well. And so we are urging everyone to come out and help us. We are meeting on tomorrow, Thursday, at Lincoln Bassett School. We want people to come with their vision, their ideas. I remember everyone saying that they want to have a restaurant where they can go and sit outside and and have a meal. We don't have that. We want to have a grocery store where we can have fresh vegetables and stuff. I have to go outside of the community if I want to eat healthy and so forth. So they have all the things that keep us in these healthy disparity pieces. And so why can't we have those particular things? When I want to go to, if I have to go and get any kind of medical, I have to go outside of the community for that. Why can't we have something, urgent care or something right here in our community? You can just go to and get basic care. We don't have those things in our community. We should have those things in our community. And that's what this meeting tomorrow is about. Not just about the app. It is pertaining to them, but it's not about that. It's about the future of New Hallville. How does this look? We need to have a platform. We need to make sure that we put a proposal together and say, this is what we're looking for. So if you're coming into this community, this is what we need in our community. call us, talk to us. We're here, but we do not want things that's going to continue to keep our community down. Now, we have to put the elephant in the room too, Babz. We know that communities have to be in a condition like we are in order to get other fundings. And so sometimes people want our community to be low income, disparity, because federal money comes in, other type of money comes in, and people make benefits off of our community. But we don't want that to happen. We need to stop looking at how are you going to help our community and not take advantage of our community.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So the meeting is tomorrow night, Thursday, from 6 to 8. It's going to be at Lincoln Bassett School, which sits right in the heart of Newhallville, 130 Bassett Street, in the auditorium. And I know you've been papering the neighborhood because I get the flyers in my mailbox.
Good. Good.
So Harry's going to put it up so people can see it. And you're going to report out on where you all are up to this date. And you're going to stop the app, and you're going to have a Clipper Beers presentation and a report on Development Corporation, and then some question and answers. You want to hear from people about next steps.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I'm
really surprised that 26% of this neighborhood is home ownership. I didn't think about that because there's a lot of housing in this neighborhood, but it's not owned. It's not owned by folks
anymore.
Anymore. You're right. You're right. I mean, I live in the house that I live on Ivy Street now, and I live in the house. My soror girlfriend, Robyn Miller Godwin, this was her grandparents' home. They were the first Black people on this street 50 years ago.
Wow.
And the house is still in their family. This is still their family home. And it's important that we hold on to our family homes like this.
But we see what's happened to the real estate, in other areas of the city where such an entity has housed itself, and I want to say that there are good neighbors as far as other treatment facilities throughout the city.
Yes.
And there are other methadone programs within the city of New Haven, but you don't
are good neighbors and good stewards of that community.
Exactly. And so it's the mere fact that we know that one aspect and an important aspect of generational wealth is home ownership. You send kids to college with equity. You can, maintain your home on the equity, all of these things. And if you don't own a home, then all of those things become like almost non-existent. Then you're truly, truly a dependent. But if you are owning the home and you don't have any equity because you have an element that says, basically, it's the ultimate in redlining. It says, don't invest in this community. They have a methadone program, and look at all of the ills that is around this community. And so it impacts the home ownership, and it impacts what I can do futuristically for my family. And so we're saying these things do not need to be in a densely populated residential facility. They need to be in a medical preferably a medical / industrial community, like One Long Wharf, which is where they're trying to leave. But it's like, but you're not good stewards there either.
Yeah.
We talk to the Hill people, and they're like, that's not happening either. So it's like, well, then I think y'all need to build something yourself somewhere where it'll work out for you.
And we need to you need to start respecting our community. It's been such a disrespect to our community, and so we're not having it anymore. We should be respected. Newhallville should be respected. We are high voter turnout in our community. We respect that. We respect our the homeowners partnerships that we have had in the past. And we've done a lot in our community to try to thrive, especially in that area. We're bringing businesses back into that area, and now you're going to, take it 3 and 4 steps back. So our voice is saying no. Our voice is saying we want you to hear from us that we want the appropriate things for our community.
Mm-hmm. I thank y'all so much for coming on this morning and raising this awareness, because this is critical, and to show people that when you band with your neighbors, you can do anything. Like, we're not hopeless, we're not helpless, that we can do anything with when we raise our voices in unison together. So absolutely. What were you going to say, Katurah? I'm gonna give you the last word.
I'm just looking forward to our leadership, elected officials. I tend to say leadership, and I put quotes around that because we are leaders in this community, those of us that are not elected officials. But I'm looking for those people that are in charge of monies coming into this city to show us, these are our needs. Show us how this money, federal money, my taxpaying dollars coming into this city is going to improve the quality of life of all of the citizens. And like I say, we have a tourniquet on and we need help. Mm-hmm. We need to use those funds in order to make the quality of life in our community equally as pleasant, no matter where you are in New Haven.
Okay. So I want y'all to come back again, because I know this is going to come up too, Jeanette, about possibly the education folks coming over to the site on Bassett Street, the interior Bassett, to come in and provide, moving from El Grasso Boulevard to this area, which I kind of like that idea, but I want to hear what my neighbors have to say. So I want you to come back and talk about that too, because I know you got your hands on that. I know you're involved. I know you're in communication.
Yes, and yes.
So thank you for this morning and letting us know what is going on in Newhallville Hamden Strong Committee. There's a meeting tomorrow night, 6 to 8.
No, Thursday, Babz.
I'm sorry, Thursday. These days are flying by. I don't know what day I'm in. Tomorrow, because today is Wednesday. So come tomorrow, Thursday, to Lincoln Bassett School, which sits right in the heart of Newhallville. You can't miss it.
Can't miss it.
And in the auditorium, and come and raise your voice and be about the vision of this neighborhood. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you, Katurah. Nice seeing y'all.
I know. Thank you, Babz.
Absolutely.
And I will see y'all soon. Keep me posted, and consider yourselves welcome back anytime.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take good care. All right. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Nora. We're out. Back tomorrow.